Hi, I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles. And this is
Bar Talking
Bar, your access to the heartbeat of New York City's bar and hospitality scene.
Hosted straight from the city that never sleeps, we sit down with bartenders, brands and ambassadors, hospitality pros, and cocktail lovers.
Whether it's the art of bartending, the hustle behind hospitality, or the wildest bar tales, expect raw conversations and industry secrets.
Listen to the people who pour your favorite cocktails and keep the nightlife alive.
If you love bars, spirits, and the stories that bring them to life, follow us, share, and subscribe to keep the conversations flowing.
The podcast that you didn't know you need.
New episodes weekly.
Welcome back to another week of your favorite podcast,
Bar Talking Bar.
I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles.
Thank you all. We're going to start by acknowledging all of our listeners. Thank you for following us.
The viewers as well.
The comments.
The sharing. The subscribing. And the support in general. So we are here because obviously, we are trying to make more content and showing like the very people that behind the industry, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. But today we have a very VIP person. Very honored to have him. Ryan Foley.
Yay.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Very, honored. I'm very he's here now.
Not for me, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, so we have in the house, Bartender Magazine. Month they have Seed Library. We were talking about it. We are also very proud of the guys on the cover. We're friends personally, and like I was saying, I feel like a groupie because I feel like my friends are in the cover of magazine. I know them.
I know these guys.
Yes, they're the best. I'm really honored to have them. It means a lot.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the cover of magazine, and then we're gonna probably start by asking some of the industry questions.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes,
all of my secrets that are not so secret. We this is our spring issue of Bartender Magazine that has the amazing team from Seed Library on there. There they are, and their beautiful faces. Shot by Andrea, a dear friend. Yes, and one of my favorite spots, Sip and Guzzle. So it's been a lot of fun. This is the first kind of time I have like print magazines with me.
Oh, cool.
So it's really great. I still owe them copies. So this is a special here.
There's 4 copies right here.
Yeah, exactly.
All of you.
I'm gonna bring you some. Don't you worry. We just hit our website a couple weeks ago, and then just got print copies, last week. So it's really exciting to have them. Yeah.
Wow, so cool.
So we have here a kind of saying, like, we know that a lot of people knows you, but our audience probably doesn't know you. If you want to introduce yourself to them, please.
Yes, absolutely. I am Ryan Foley. I'm the publisher of Bartender Magazine. My dad started the magazine in 1979, so we are the longest running print magazine for our industry. And it's just really cool to grow up into this and see how it's grown and changed, and it's a family business.
Nowadays with the digital, modern life,
where
everybody now wants to click and, press a button.
Exactly.
But I feel like sometimes when you keep one of these, it's kind of like memorabilia, but only like a encyclopedia. You can put them in there. You can just pull one of the issues every now and then. And like we like to collect magazines. Like as a kid, I love like comics and like whatever I could put my hands on to collect. And I think this is one of the things that you can actually add as a collectible. Because there's not a lot of magazines out there that are printed and it's digital.
Yeah, no.
This feels so much better.
It does. Growing up with the magazine too, like I have a special relationship with print, like holding it. But, when I took over, one of the things that I promised my dad that I would always do is print the magazine, because he told me that if I stopped printing it, he would kill me, and I don't want to. I don't need.
No, he brought you to life. He doesn't want it.
I was like, I think I'm good on that. It's really special, especially like our kind of like generation hasn't had this chance to see themselves in print. And it's really cool to like, our industry is very community-based and tight-knit. So like, I love being able to say, just like you did, like, I know these people, these are my friends, like, these are our friends. And I love highlighting people from that you may know or you don't know at all. Like, it's giving them a platform, not just on the internet, which is awesome, to share and to learn more about each other. It's really special.
I think like this you know, having a magazine and, you know, reading it, and then you see like, you know, the author on the article, you have kind of like more credibility, because sometimes you see things in, you know, Instagram and you don't know if it's a fact or, you know, if it's not true.
Right.
But as well, like, you know, don't judge. I'm a 80s person. I think we're all 80s. And it's funny because I was watching this video on Instagram and they asked like, what is the age for old people? No, and then the kids were saying like 92.
I've seen these videos too.
2000.
It's like,
and I'm like, oh my God, I'm an ancient. But definitely, like, if you have this in your house and, you know, if you're part of the community, of the industry, it's very helpful because not everyone knows everyone. And the other part is like, you don't only talk about New Jersey or New York. You have articles from around the world and the States, I guess. And so it's also that things that is helpful for us to like knowing something from Arizona or from the state, right?
Got my Arizona Cocktail Week shirt on now. Yeah, no, I worked really hard to make sure that we're highlighting a whole group of just not in New York and New Jersey, like where we live, but like everyone across the states. And we're doing like international features too, which is great. Like it expands because a lot of us are traveling a lot more now, and you can like get to go see people like, oh, I saw you on Instagram or saw you online. It's cool. The main focus, obviously, being Bartender Magazine, is highlighting our community and like making that space and sharing for people to get to know them more and give them a platform to talk about themselves. Like when I highlight them, I ask for their bios and different things. Like I'm happy to help them edit it, but I'm like, this is your platform to say whatever. Like I want you to highlight yourself. Whatever you want to say, I'm here for it. You know, I'm not going to dictate it to get more clicks or something like that. Like that's not what this is about.
So for me, I want to start from the beginning. So how your dad came with the idea? Like, let's talk about your dad actually.
Yes.
Like I know that, you know, he passed a while ago, and I'm sorry, and I feel like so grateful that also he got this idea, which is amazing.
Me too.
So
I always joke that like was lucky my dad didn't sell toilet paper because I would have been in the toilet paper business. Right? And
I made money on 2020.
Yeah, I might have been retired. But no, it you know, our community is so rich that we're like with love, that we're, you know, everyone has been rallying around all this kind of thing. But my dad originally was a comedy writer. He wrote for Johnny Carson, which was like a famous comedian, and was working at a bar in Jersey at night. And then Johnny Carson was moving his writers to LA, I believe. And Dad was like, I'm not going to LA. I'm going to stay in Jersey. And from what he told me, when everyone went over, they fired everyone too. They started fresh in LA. So Dad was like, dodged that one. I was lucky, And then he was like, I think I want to start a magazine for bartenders. And one of his regulars were like, that's a terrible idea. And my dad was a bit of a hard ass. He was in the Marines. Like he joined to like fight for the country. Like he was very much like, tough. He took no shit from anybody. And so he was like, that you told me I can't do it, I'm gonna do it. So he did. And my mom and him ran the magazine for a long time, up until Dad got sick. And then when he passed 2 years ago, I was working at an agency on the hospitality side. And I was like, I really want to carry on our family legacy. Yeah, so it is still just my mom and I. And then we have Noah Rothbaum, who's our editor at large. But like full-time employees, it is just me and my mom. So like, you know, if you message us on Instagram, it goes to my phone. Like,
Yeah.
it's just us.
That's
Yeah.
It's like the two of us.
Exactly. Right.
Two
Like
of us. So it's you and your mom.
me and my mom. Yeah, exactly. And I see how hard you guys work just from being here. So I know the hustle, and it's it's a lot of work, but it is we're in a community and like an industry that, again, pushes you up. Like it helps a lot.
It's a community that helps you, and like I always say, if you want help, because you have to ask for help.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's like if you need something or you want to improve, you want to like grow, ask for it. When you get the chances or the opportunities, take them.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of the time we are afraid of taking a different route because we are afraid of the comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just like being there, being present, like like this guy's being at the magazine. I'm sure they're not 100% comfortable because no one has ever,
Oh yeah, of course. And I was like this issue is at BCB. So you can like pick up copies. When I told them, they were like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Get ready!" Like,
yeah,
it's not.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not just at BCB. Like, I'll be in Seattle next week for Seattle Cocktail Week. It'll be over there, so it's like fun because you get tagged and stuff, and you get it's
amazing.
That's what it's all about. It may be a lot, but it's cool. I mean, I think it's cool. I'm biased, obviously.
It's great, and it's showcasing also the new bar they opened. They didn't open too long ago. Well, how long ago they have it? Like
I want to say it's about 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Because we shot the cover right before my son was born, so it's got to be at least 4 months.
Yeah. So,
because they open around
Let's say like October.
Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Because I remember I was cordially invited, and I was by myself because where I was working. But it was funny because I said like it's Halloween.
Yeah.
And I ended up like dressing like properly, but also I was like I did like a Halloween makeup, and then I go inside and I'm like, nobody else
is dressed up. You're like, oh yeah.
Which is cool, but yeah. But yeah, like I feel like it's so awesome that your parents were like working together in the magazine, but they worked together in the industry?
Oh yeah. Yep. So my mom was a server at the bar my dad worked at. So my dad was like the GM and bartender, and my mom was like a server and like a waitress there.
And they fell in love in there?
Yes, they fell in love. And then they had me, and I've been annoyance since then.
Something similar is happening here because I was a bartender when she came to the survey.
We
got
But, it's funny.
all good things.
We weren't a couple back in the day, but we remained friends, and then eventually, life brought together, and it's fun. I love it because obviously working in the same industry, you get the same insights. Obviously, you have your own opinions, but you understand what's happening. Like, for example, I remember in the beginning, like, Edgar works Fridays or Saturdays, super busy at freelance, and he's like, I want to go to grab a beer, and I was like, okay, I don't care, because I know how it feels like sometimes getting off at 2:00 in the morning, super tired.
Yeah.
Just want to go and talk bullshit about your job.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I just want to sit here and turn my brain off.
Ben.
Yeah. This is so annoying. Yeah.
Oh my God, this lady.
But also, I was looking at some of the your parents' like pictures. I was stalking you, and but I saw this picture of your dad with like a suspenders, like super proper bartender, and your mom with like a super nice.
That was the
uniform.
old school way, and they also like.
I love that a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's cool, and but that was the bar that they worked at. It was like more of like a big wedding venue too. Like in New Jersey, the bar is called the Manor, and it was in West Orange. And like if you ever say like to someone like, oh, like my dad used to work at the Manor, like I got married there, had my prom there, like I had events there. That's kind of what it was. It was like this.
It's a big venue.
Yeah, a big venue space that Dad was bartending and doing all that kind of stuff for. So it's like everyone in Jersey all the time.
Everybody knew the place.
Yeah, it's closed. It actually closed like right before, like maybe like 2 weeks before my dad passed, which is like scary in a way. But I stay in touch with the family because their kids actually, funny enough. Because they're...
You kind of grew up together, right?
Yeah, I didn't really know them too well, but like, they knew my dad.
Okay.
And so like, it was just a nice way for us to connect and, like...
So how was your, like, I mean, your dad working in New Jersey coming with the idea of like, writing a magazine for bartenders. How was the dynamic? Like in the day, it was just New Jersey bartenders, or?
Yeah, it was everywhere, and they would like, because we have like proximity to New York, obviously, like that's where all the big liquor brands were. So Dad was like coming into the city and like hustling to try to like sell advertising and do these different things to bring it to life. But he wanted to, you know, Dad used to say, I don't know the exact bar, but he'd always be like, there are so many, like there's 600 Applebee's, there's like, you know, 2 seed libraries in the US,
yeah.
right? So he's like, I want every sort of bartender to be featured in Bartender Magazine. And that's kind of like his whole point was like, if you work behind a bar, you're a bartender, period. Like you could say like, oh, I'm just doing this for some extra cash. So he's like, nope, you're a bartender. Like that's how it was. So he's like, if you go back and like, I look at old magazines for inspiration and stuff, it's like from everywhere. Like, and it's really cool to like see these bars. I'm like, I don't even know this bar. And like, that was the point. Like, it's not just the big name, like 50 Best folks.
Yeah.
It is everyone.
Yeah, and I think there's this quote that he says like, it doesn't matter if you only serve 20 people. You're a bartender.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No matter what it.
Because some people feel like a little like intimidated of saying like I'm a bartender because they just work probably lunch, and it feels like I'm not the head bartender or I'm not this famous bartender. I mean, if you 10 apart, you're a bartender.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like again, there's like 1,000 Applebee's and like Buffalo Wild Wings, but you know that there's a lot of bartenders in the country, and so it's important for that.
Which is also comes with like some people who works like let's say in Applebee's, McDonald's, and everything. Some people disregard them as hospitality industry, and it's like
No way.
and also they have a lot of like good training. We have a couple of like guests here that they
have a really good structure.
Yeah, Applebee's was like the way to go back in the day.
I remember I used to go to Applebee's, and I mean back then I wasn't able to drink, but I used to go there just for food. And then when I was aiming to drink, you know, I was definitely going to Applebee's.
You know, I've been going there a little earlier. No, but yeah, they had like a really big structure for a long time. Like it was those kind of like national accounts that always people were like, man, if you want to learn, you got to go to Fridays, and like they'll put you through the ringer of like how to learn. And I think it's really cool. And like, you know, obviously like the folks that we talk to the day to day get to work at these really cool, awesome spots, like a seed library, like a yacht club from our last issue and beyond. And like, I love spending time with all of these folks, but I do try to make an effort too to highlight some other people that you may not have heard of. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's cool.
And that's cool because, you know, sometimes they think they're not recognized because they're not in the 50 best list, or because they're not the cover of a magazine. But I think it's just like recognizing their job. It's uplifting not only for them, for the people who's in the picture, but for the entire team in general. Because front and back of the house is part of the team.
Yep.
And sometimes we see it as like, oh, the bartender is just a bartender, but yeah, the bartender needs this help to perform, right?
Yes.
So we need a structure.
I try to get as many folks as we can on the covers too, because, you know, in 5 years they might go open their own spot. Like, you know, I want to highlight everyone that works there at all times, and it's, you know, it's hard to get all those people together sometimes. And I have 2 hours to get in here. But yeah, like, you know, Yacht Club had a lot of people on there. And we're lucky to have these 4 from Seed Library.
Yeah.
These are like the faces you will see all the time that you are there, which is great. They're just Teddy. I love that kid.
Yeah. Even Natasha is also very. I mean, I'm very proud of Natasha. Like, and I also have the opportunity to work with her when I was at Freeman's, and she was like at Bansabar. And I remember, like, I mean, she was like probably 19, on 21 something. I mean, she was very young, though, but I mean, she's still young. Natashita.
Oh.
And
she was underage, but.
No, I'm not saying that she was underage. I believe
she was younger.
She was younger.
She's still so young.
Yeah, of course. And that's one of my point. Like, you know, seeing her grow and the way she grows, and you know, she was managing in Spain for La Malin, and all the accomplishments that she has made is like, wow. And and it's been like, you know, like, and now that she's you know, also managing the Seed Library, I feel like many women, especially women, they feel like Latinas feel like empowered and, you know, like reliable of like, I can work and do this as well, right?
Of course. She, like, all of these folks are so talented. Like, you know, this is just the beginning of like, which, they've probably been around in the career for 10 years, but this is just the beginning for them, right? Really?
Yeah.
Like they're all going to do so many amazing things. So it is really like, truly, like when we do the sit down and like think about covers and stuff, it's a huge, it's awesome, but it's me also making sure that they're getting their proper features and spotlights. Like this is just every issue, whoever is the feature article, it is just there about them as it is for like the business side of the magazine. Like I truly care about every single one of these folks, and I try to do as much as I can to give them again the platform to have some fun. But
and going back to your I'm very like obsessed with the story of your parents, and obviously, but
same. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we also,
lucky.
Like we are obviously we know you through the magazine, but besides that, you're a person, and how this affects you in a positive or sometimes negative way, working or going to school, whatever it is. But I feel like growing in a family that has already a job as a bartender, which takes a lot of your time and nights and everything. You said that you're the single kid.
I'm an only child. Yeah.
How was your childhood working? Like having this.
It was fun. It's like very funny because sometimes I look back and like, damn, I wish I would have like remembered doing that. Like I love the Derby. Like Kentucky Derby is in a couple weeks, and like I love horse racing. It's like fun and exciting. I've been to the Derby, but I was 7, so I don't remember it. But we were there with Maker's Mark, and like I remember sitting in the hotel room while my dad and mom were at the race. And then coming back, and I was like, wow, I saw it on TV. Like, I thought it was so cool. But I was a kid. I don't remember any of that. But I was lucky to travel, like went to the Bacardi distillery when I was like really young. That's because my dad was writing a piece about the distillery and all these things. So I got to go. I was like a +1.
Yeah.
But like, so cool. I'd like to do that now. You know what I mean? But I was a kid. I didn't understand really. It's hard to understand what your parents are doing. And like, obviously like, it's alcohol, so I wasn't really involved in any of it, but I got to travel a bit when I was younger and, be mom and dad's +1 to cool stuff. And
that's so cool.
My mom did a book tour for a book that she wrote when I was younger. I remember like just being on the plane being like, I don't even know what we're doing. Like I just was like, oh, we're in this cool city. And my dad's like, let's go to like a baseball game. I was like, yay. I was like, I had no idea what was going on. But it was, as I got older, I was like, whoa, this is like really cool. And trying to learn about cocktails and like how, like what I could do. And, I started my parents' e-newsletter, and like dad already had a website, but he didn't know what Facebook or Instagram was at the time. So like our Instagram, I started when I was in high school because I was like, oh, someone has a Facebook. I was like, we should probably get the magazine on that too. Like I just didn't know at the time.
No, but that's so cool.
You figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like,
and also you were kind of like that, bringing that kind of like modern information to your dad.
Yeah.
And it's very helpful because, also when you're an adult, you have a different vision of like, probably like nowadays you say like, oh, I feel like an old lady, right? Like when I see kids on the street and I'm like, they look super young to be here, right?
All the time I'm like, how old do they think I am? That's what I always think about. I'm like, oh, did they think I'm like 60?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. I got gray in my beard. I'm like, I look older.
And so you travel a lot with your parents, but also how is your life in New Jersey? Like your friends, what do they tell you about it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's funny because like, everyone's family in our town worked at like AT&T, or they were like a banker or something like that. And like, our parents were the bar folks.
Yeah.
Which was like weird because everyone's dad like knew each other, and then like we started having like my mom was very into throwing like quarterly parties. So like when the magazine came out, we had like a party to celebrate at the house.
Okay.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But she was able to like all the samples that people were sending to the house, and we had like parties, and I was like, whoa, this is fun. And then I was like, oh, okay, like I see that my family's in a beverage world. But it was like when you talk to people about it, it sounds on paper more fun than like, I work at a bank. Everyone's like, oh, that sounds fun. It's like, yeah, but I was lucky to have that, but I didn't understand it really. And then at the time I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to be a professional video game player for like a long time. I was like, I'm going to play video games. My parents were like, what are you doing?
Yeah. But what did you study for college?
I studied marketing.
Marketing?
When like when I turned 13, my dad gave me working papers because he came from like his parents came over from Ireland. And so like everyone in the house, like you worked when you were of age. So I was like 13, I'm gonna get something cool. My dad's like, here. And I went to work. Like I've always been in hospitality. I worked in an ice cream shop and I made ice cream during the day. And at night I like mopped the floors of that ice cream shop. So I'd get there at 6, I'd work till 9, and I'd come back at like, 6 p.m. and mop the floors. Like for years.
Wow.
And then
more than 12 hours?
like I would just I'd go home.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably like go to the beach or like I skateboarded when I was younger, so skating. And then come back and like mop the floors. But Dad was like, you're gonna learn how to work. And then when I was able to work at a bar, like I was, again, not knowing anything.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just start bartending.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Like my dad knows this guy, I'll start bartending. And the owner was like, nope. Like, you're going to wash dishes for the first 6 months. I was like, what the heck?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
My dad?
No, and like, I never was like that, but I was
Okay.
always just like, but can I just bartend? And he was like, what? No. Like, you got to work your ass. Like, and I was like, oh shit.
How old were you when
When I could
you
bar back?
When you wanted to bartend? Yeah.
Oh, like 15.
Oh, yeah.
Again, no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know those like laws, like you can't touch alcohol until like you
Yes.
turn 18. Like, I didn't know any of that.
I feel like a lot of us don't know the laws.
No.
Yes.
I didn't know either. I learned when I turned, because, well, I'm originally from Mexico City. And in Mexico City, you can drink at age 15, like 18. Sometimes you drink at a lot younger age, with the parents.
Like
whatnot.
everybody else.
Yeah, like
We're
you're
not supposed to
16 or
do
whatever.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
But, when I came to the States, it was like, oh, no, you can't drink until 21. And then you cannot.
And you were like, what?
I was like, what? I've been doing
I've
this
been
for
drinking
years.
it the year life. No, but also when I started working in restaurants, I didn't know like we said that you can work on the bar, but you cannot.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. You can't touch. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was like, why? But then there's a why. There's a law.
There's always, yeah. I was confused too. I'm like, what?
So then you were a dishwasher.
Oh yeah, I washed dishes, and then I went to a food runner, and then by the time I at this restaurant could bar back, I was like, no, this is like you. I was like, I understand like why Dad wanted me to do it, but I wanted to go to a bar down the shore. So like my first bar backing job was this like high volume place at the Jersey Shore. But by then I knew, I was like, I want to be like in it. Like if I'm gonna commit, I want to get like my ass kicked, and I certainly did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old did you bar back for?
I worked at that bar in like from when I was like 18 to when I was like 20, and by the time I was like bartending at that bar, I was like doing some like brand ambassador work because I was like, I understood it now. Like I was in college and I was like, every bar I go to has like these drinks, but they all taste different, and like how come this bar is like doing sports stuff and this bar is like a high-end cocktail thing. I was learning about the different aspects of the industry. Like then I was like nerding out about it. Because then I was like, okay, I have realized I have been like not fully getting it. So that's when I like really started like getting into the
I think
shit.
it's important that you mentioned that, because a lot of folks who don't know what bartending means, it means a lot of different things.
Oh yeah.
It's bartending at like Applebee's, bartending Sipangoso, the bartending at sports bar is so different.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're all bartending, but everybody has their own structure, their clientele.
Yep.
And of course the spirits too, because if you use certain spirits to make a cocktail, they're gonna taste a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's not that they're off or bad. It's just a different ingredient. And
Absolutely.
It makes it different, right?
Yeah, 1,000%. It's like kind of the same thing. So I was just trying to learn as much as I could.
Yeah.
And then when I went into like the corporate side, my dad was like, it's time for you to take over the magazine. I'm so glad looking back that I said no, because I was like, I want to like do my own thing and figure it out. Like I kind of wanted to like, trip a little bit and fall to like pick myself back up, because like I said, when I went to this restaurant, I was like, I'm just gonna start bar backing, and I was like, this is not how that works. Like this is very, very different. So I wanted to figure it out my own way. Like I've always been a part of it, but not until like the last year or 2 years that I've really like tried to make this kind of like our own thing and bring a different life to it, and like put my own spin on it. But I'm glad, because I would have I don't know what I would have done, but this is like, I needed to learn every side of this business to really make this fully about the community, to make it like a proper bartender magazine. Like this is, now I can like really say this is like for the bartenders, by the people that care for the community. You have to like go through that process. And I plan on doing the same thing for like, you know, my children, if they want to get into hospitality, like, you know, my dad was like, I want you to learn this.
You know, and I think that's actually a good idea. If you have somebody or every single human in this world going to a hospitality job just to show you what a hospitality means, you know, like the service that you provide is not just food and drinks, it's also that welcoming part. Because I think a lot of people think that we just work for the money, and yes, we do work for the money. Of course, also this is something we like to do. It's a career, and it's genuine. You know, like I'm not just putting something here and turning it around, giving you my back. I want you to feel comfortable, and I want you to come back. And I don't probably want you to remember my name, but at least I want you to know that I gave you something nice, and I made your day nice. You know, like whatever.
Absolutely, it's like people talk about their like love languages, like acts of service, gifts. Like I've always been like the gifts person. I love giving gifts, and I feel like this is I still do it. Like I'm so excited to feature everybody, and I like really get like stoked when people come to our house. Like I love hosting, but I just love giving back to the people. It is like that's the love language of our business is hospitality. Like we want to take care of it. And again, I agree. I think everyone should go through a little bit of hospitality, because then you don't act like an asshole when you're at a bar, or like you understand that people are busy, and like I can't talk to you when I'm like 16 people deep, you know, like
Exactly.
and for me it's a little like, you know, like I sometimes don't get it, like when people, you know, you get the check, and people write like, I'm not gonna tip you because you already have a salary, or you know, think like people writes like mean things on the
because they don't understand.
They don't get it.
Like,
But,
because they think Europe is different from
Correct,
America in terms of tipping policies. Japan doesn't tip, Europe don't tip, and you know, in America we live on tips.
Yes.
Because we don't get our minimum wage is 16 or 10 depending on the places, you know. If
But
you go to the Midwest, it's
I remember when we were like, when I was a kid, it was like $4, and I was like, oh my God, like this is
you know,
crazy.
and also I think this industry, the hospitality industry, has come in many ways to help each other, because there's a lot of like probably in the late 90s and the 2000s when people started like really fighting for our rights. And that's how we get a lot of like protections law, because before I remember also if you were training they didn't pay you the training, or they will say like, I'm gonna pay you $3 an hour, and you will be like, okay, you know, because you didn't something. You know. But I think like besides, for example, here in your magazine that you give information, it creates also that sense of like, we're doing this because this is a job that we love also, but also we offer this, and even though like it's we talk about, you know, alcohol and everything, but at the end of the day it's like bringing the community and saying like, we are here because we're being so many changes during the, you know, whenever cocktails are, but nowadays we have more community. I believe that you argue that, so like so many changes in the industry.
I mean, especially like, you know, this is about learning, like sharing experiences, like having you know, all the articles I try to make sure you're learning something, you're passing something on to like the next person to learn from, or you know, whether that's techniques or products, like whatever it has.
And
it's important to do all of it.
And I think also like the community understand that no matter we have Instagram or, you know, digital, they're really like also kind of backing you up by saying, yeah, definitely come and shoot out your magazine, because
it means the world to me.
It is, and honestly, to me as a bartender, as my own perspective, we're like, you know, who doesn't want to be here? Like you could do like, you know, we join competitions, we join like education, because that's what's happening right nowadays, right? You go to I don't know, to a spirits education, and information is out there, right? I think this was what started it, because it was giving you the information that you didn't have available. you didn't have that, and I think like the fact that you mentioned that your dad was there, stamping and printing and probably
Oh my gosh.
putting everything together, you know. Like,
Yeah. Stapling it, like
Stapling,
OG,
yeah,
like
yeah.
printing it, putting it together, putting a staple on.
And this is all was in your house.
But yeah, I'm like, my first jobs at like 5, 6 at the house was like, okay, we have like 10 new subscribers. It was like, okay, you got a t-shirt, a magazine, and a letter. I'd put it in an envelope and like put it like
wow.
by the door because my mom, like that was how I made like, you know, my money to like go out with my friends and do my stuff.
That's so cool.
It was like, you know, I remember like that was it. Oh, I was like,
so you've been involved in this from day one without even thinking about it. Yeah.
I had no, again, I had like, you know, my dad wrote the first Bartending for Dummies in 1997. Like,
Wow.
I remember that being like, I was like, why do we have all these yellow books in our house? Like, I didn't get it. But then as I got older, you know, like when I was in the industry, I was like, oh my God, like you guys have Bartending for Dummies. So like, yeah, that's like the OG. It's how I like learned how to do it. I was like, my dad wrote that. And I was like, that's cool as shit. Like I started figuring out, I was like, okay, I got to really start paying more attention. But, you know, I've always been a part of it. Like,
You know what? And I'm gonna underline this again because I remember when I mentioned that you know, having a magazine that you've been part of since the beginning. It's the legacy that your dad left behind you. You know, alongside your mom. But it's a lot of people, like, you know, if you go to the Julio, like I'm gonna put this in the book, they have a tequila, they pass it on to different generation.
yo,
Other people have restaurants and pass it to a second generation. Your dad built a magazine from zero and pass it along to you. And I mean, the things that you are making for the bartending community is fucking amazing.
Ugh,
And it's
thank
great
you.
for us, you know, like everyone in general. And people who don't know, they can just grab it and
yeah, flip through it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, again, it's been a roller coaster, right? Like, you know, when dad passed 2 years ago, I was like, you know, is this my next move? And again, I just like woke up one day and I was like, okay, this has to be it, because I feel like, you know, this is about our community. I wanted to make sure that we were actually highlighting that and giving like our brands and our partners and everyone a space to like be a part of it. So just like putting a different, like my own little spin on it, but keeping on dad's like purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's for all bartenders, period. Like full stop. And just like support everybody. Just like, it's not, he was like, it's not hard. And I was like, oh, it sounds hard though. Like, you know, I was like, okay. Like,
You know, and it's funny because in the bartending community here in New York, it's so big but so small at the same time.
yeah.
There are groups that they get together in one place particularly, and I'm gonna say this because some days you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. So that group on Monday to Wednesday is off. It's like they're going to this event, hanging out.
Yeah.
And then the Wednesday to Thursday, Friday, Saturday groups are in a different group, and they're always like, you know, unless you go to BCB,
Right.
which, you know, is 2 days.
And then everyone, yeah.
And everyone goes at least one day or the second day.
Yeah.
Other than that is like, or if you go to New Orleans too. 'Cause,
Yeah. And Tails
you know,
is like,
people try to go to New Orleans, and sometimes New York bars are empty those days because, you know, the people who is now tending those bars are the Sunday and the Monday brunch or the Monday dinner, bartenders covering those days, right? So I think that helps a lot actually because, you know, like this community secretly is more, and we're not gatekeeping anymore.
Yeah, no.
We were in the past. And like they, you know, they open up a bar now.
oh my God, the best.
Who knows who excuse me. They open a bar now, and who knows what they're going to be opening in the future. Who's
Who knows?
bars, you know?
Yeah. And again, like you guys have come to our events too, like with the magazine, with our brand partners, like you guys have shown up for me. So like when you reached out, like obviously, like I will always support the
Thank you
things
so
that
much.
like, but that's just how we operate.
No, I mean, obviously, personally and, you know, like professionally, we're very honored because basically Bartender Magazine is something that we look up because also we're doing that in a way that we want for people also to have a platform to share their stories. Obviously, magazine or another podcast, everybody has a different perspective of what they want to show. Our perspective is having a guest that shares their personal story because, you know, sometimes you see, oh, it's Ryan, the guy who's working there, but they don't, I mean.
I always am like, I like to be behind the snes, right? Like to me, every issue is about the people that are inside of it, and then I'm always working to what's next. So like, it's like yes, I love that people have been reaching out and being very kind to me and supporting all the things that we do. It's like when I put an event on, I want it to be about the bar and like our partners and all the things that we brought to life, and like these folks, like the Seed Library team is like, that's my, for the next.
And I believe season. That another part of the hospitality industry, for example, is like my point of view about bartender community is very tight in that sense, because it's a profession, it's a craft that you can work either by yourself, like being a private bartender, or you can work in another place, right? Different from like a server or food runner that, you have to really be in a place. And sometimes they don't have this community, because it's not like the Runner Magazine or the Runner podcast, right? But at the end of the day, I feel like everybody who works in a restaurant and they have a cocktail bar, they're part of it.
Yeah,
right?
1,000%.
And obviously, I've been seeing events that they're like for brands and for like a certain cocktail bar, but everybody's invited.
Yeah.
So they also can learn about a new brand or a different cocktail. And I feel like having these magazines and bringing, like, for example, there in the cover, they can show it to, like, I don't know, the cook or the food runner thing,
They should.
But besides their in the cover, they also need a food runner.
Yep.
They need a dishwasher. So they're part of the bartender community, right?
Absolutely.
So I feel like...
Or a young and up and coming barback who wants to be a bartender,
Yeah, right.
Like, that's how I see it. Like we always mention, if you want to go finish your education, you go to college, you go through anything you want to study for. In the hospitality community, I think, or the hospitality service, you can either go to culinary school, or you can go Bar 5. You could do Bar Smarts.
Yep.
Or you can also tag along with somebody who has been working in the service industry for a while and learn from them,
I was talking with the Bar 5 team today.
Yeah.
Funny enough, yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you have more access to education if you want to grow. If you want to be a barback or a full runner or a buzzer who just started in the industry, because a lot, like you mentioned earlier, you start as a dishwasher sometimes, because that's what's available.
Right.
If there's a space open on the floor, you start there. But once you see the bartender, you always want to be like, I want to
do that. Yeah.
Even if you're a server, or sometimes you're a bartender, but you have to serve for a certain time because there's not an opening at the bar, at the moment. And that happens very often, because I've seen it. So I think, like the community that we have, like, is, again, in the hospitality, I see here in New York, it's so big but so small, because we know so many people. We know, like, you run into somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny, because when you mention a name, they're like, oh, I know that guy. How do you know this guy? And you start a conversation out of thin ice. Like, you have no connection, never seen each other. And then all of a sudden, you guys are best friends.
Hey, what's going on, dude? Come on over. Like, get a drink. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's a special community. Again, like, I thank my stars that Dad didn't do toilet paper, but I am proud of, like, looking back now, like, I'm proud that I stuck to what he was saying. Like, it's your dad, and, like, I was like, okay, I'll just follow what he says. But at the time, I was kind of probably like, probably an asshole. I was probably like, ugh, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But I was a teenager. Of course, I was like salty, but I'm like, damn, like, that he was really setting me up for success, and, like, how to talk to people and how to communicate and, like, how to be part of a team. Like, it really, it's, the hospitality world can teach you so much. And, like, sometimes I laugh. I'm like, I think I learned more, like, at the bar than sometimes I did at school. Like, I still don't know how to do my taxes, and no one taught me either way.
None.
Yeah, but, like, they didn't teach me that at college either. But it's fun. Like, just, like, how to interact with people and, like, how to be respectful. Like, there's no classes on that in college, and, like, etiquette. Like, like,
exactly,
like, how to be a proper human.
But yeah, I also want to bring you here because I feel like sometimes, saying like, oh, my dad was the first person who bring that in, people will be like, oh, he just get the job because he's the son of it. But definitely, like, you saying, like, I was working since I was 5, helping my mom, and I didn't know that, but you carry all the
forget about it.
information because also you work invested in like, I want to know this, and you work your way up to like being a bartender, but also paying attention of like the magazine, and now you're running it with your mom. I believe also your mom has a lot of like, be part of this magazine that, even like you said, she was a server back in the day with your dad. What was like the vision of your mom?
Sometimes the lady is right behind it. Like,
Dad used to say, behind every strong man is a very strong woman that's actually getting the shit done.
you know what I'm saying?
I've see it. My mom is the best. I mean, I know that like working with your mom on paper sounds horrible. Doing it is worse. Like it's my mom. Like we butt heads all the time. But she's also been doing this for 45 years her way. And now I'm like, well, what if we did this? And what if we did this? And she's like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like she's like, that's not how we used to do it, or all these things. But then I'm like, when it comes to putting the magazine together, I was like, oh, we can put this here. She's like, nope, this is how. And I'm like, oh shit, like she knows how to do that. Like she's very, very helpful. My mom's like background, she worked in like retail. I don't know, like she went to school. She went to college, but like I don't know if she really knew what her career like aspired to be. She met my dad when she was 21. Okay. And like they had me at 23.
She was very young.
Yeah, she was younger, and my dad was 17 years older. Okay. And it's like, that's a big age gap, but like I really believe that like they were meant to kind of do this together. And like, even when I would see my dad in the office, I'm like, oh, your mom really knows what the hell she's doing.
Yeah.
Like dad was the ideas guy, and my mom was the executor. And she got it done. Like, dad was, yeah, all the time. And like, I laugh because like I still feel that way. Like, and sometimes like my mom and like I get emotional too. Is like I'll have this like idea. I'm like, oh my god, like we gotta do this. Mom's like, that's very cool. How are you gonna do it? I'm like, here you go. Like help me bring it to life. And she's very, very good at that. Like she's just like, I joke all the time that she's back of house and I'm front of house. Like you need something done, she's done it. She's already doing it and is like has done it before. But like, I don't want to be like the face of the magazine. Again, like the face of the magazine for me, every issue is who's on the cover. But I gotta do the Instagrams and pay the bills and take care of all the things. Like, mom and I balance each other really well on that. And it's fun because I get to bring this like new perspective for our generation to make it feel like this is their magazine. Without mom, I'd be screwed. Like I'll never tell her that, and I'll fast forward that when we get to it. But she really is just like, she's the powerhouse behind it.
Your mom, her name is Jaclyn.
Jackie,
right? Yeah. I don't know her personally, but I was also reading, and I feel like very inspired by it. Like, definitely generations are different, but I believe that, having or knowing that a woman is also part of this magazine, it's very empowering for women, and like you having someone that has a voice and also has the rules, but it's for the benefit of something. I always tell you guys, it's not like because I say so, right? It's because it's something that we have to do it.
Yep.
For the benefit of for the both of us, right? And I believe your mama was it's very invested as well, obviously.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I believe she loves it because otherwise it would be like, what am I doing, right?
When Dad got sick, she
for 15 years, right now. The magazine?
Yeah, 46, 45. Yeah, that's crazy.
Invested.
That's it. She's quite invested. And not only in time, but like love, right? When my dad got sick, like, the business took a backseat because we were like, we got to focus on Dad. Like, he was our rock star and always will be. And so, the magazine was, again, we were the only one. And then when Dad got sick, there was like a lot of other great publications and stuff came out. And Mom kept that afloat this whole time.
Wow.
even when Dad was like sick in the hospital for months, she still was putting a monthly e-news out and still getting the issues out on time and still like running a business with someone who was very sick.
Thank you, Mom.
No, yeah, no, I like,
Please.
it's something I don't talk about too much, I mean, because it's like, it's obviously emotional, but you know, she cares. And like all the time when she like goes to the events, like, you know, she interacts with people, and I think that she doesn't understand, like, it was a female like run business for 15 years while my dad was sick. Like she did everything alone.
I think it's very important that you mentioned that, honestly, because people don't know behind the scenes what's going on.
No, of course not.
And if she run it, like, she needs the recognition, you know?
Yes.
Doing one thing on your own, it's
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like when I always take a step back. I'm like, okay, try not to yell at Mom today. She's done a lot. But I'm also like, we got to get this shit done. What are you doing? Like, but I'm not really like, because it's different because it's your mom, right? That you have this like different relationship. But you know, when we're not doing like work stuff, it's always like, she's my mom. But then like, you know, Monday to Friday, you know,
You're both.
yeah, 7:30 to, you know, 6 p.m. like we're working.
Yeah.
And again, with only 2 people, it's hard. Like we're turning out a lot of content, we're turning a lot of cool things, and yeah, but she is a badass lady. Yeah, you know, now it's nice to like, she's letting me take it into a different direction, but very supportive. But yeah.
And how is like, you know, obviously working with your mom or working in the industry, once you become a family member as well, like you met, I get your wife, and you start, you know, like when you start, like telling the story, like, oh, we're gonna be parents. Like, how is that dynamic?
Yeah, it's great because, like, you know, as an only child, this is like her Super Bowl. She's like, oh my God, I have like 2 grandkids. Like, it's the best. And it's fun too, because like I always say, like now, like when I was younger, Dad was like, oh, like you can do this one day. I was like, okay, like maybe. Like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then when I went to college, I was like, okay, I want to be dad. I just want to like, how do I do that? You know, I hope that I can inspire my kids to do the same, or you know, at least give them, they have to work in hospitality in some way, shape, or form, you know, get that's happening. But it's nice. And like, you know, I think Mom is excited to like see the transition, and like, you know, she's excited to see what they turn out to do and have some fun together. But yeah, it's cool. Like,
and do you have any like trait that you feel like your dad passes to you, and then you're passing to your children?
Yeah.
Besides the magazine?
Yeah. I'm very like, my dad's very creative. And I think that like I have that ability a little bit. Like, you know, I like putting the magazine together and like thinking of cool programs and features. And I learn a lot about like going through the old magazines, like our Women Raising the Bar feature that was in this issue. That's something my dad's been doing since the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
And there was like 3 or 4 women that he'd always highlight from all sorts of walks of life. I was like, oh my God, that's really cool. And then like, how can I bring that to the modern age and doing these kind of things? Like I've always been thinking of ways to highlight and bring different things together. So the creative aspect I have in from Dad for sure. And then yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And then like Mom's a hustler. So I definitely have that from her. And my kids are too little to figure out where they're at, but you know, they're kids. Like my daughter will say something like, you know, she's like building a castle with like nothing there. I'm like, oh, like I hope that's my creativity. And then like, my wife's also like, she's very like, she can get things done and she's very good. You know, I can see a lot of like that, like she runs a show, like she's very organized and like determined, and has been doing this kind of all by herself. So I'm like, damn, like, she might be helpful to help me do this, you know, like it's cool to think about like the longevity of how do I keep this going and, you know, inspire like a new generation, right? Like I hope that with the magazine and like my dad started the Bartender Hall of Fame, like, you know, I hope that's way to inspire who's next.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you that because I saw your ring, and I know
and I fidget with it a lot.
But so obviously people are gonna read the magazine and everything, but why not why, but like how do you, the idea of like putting someone specifically, how does that work?
Like for the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
So like Dad was watching like a football game one day, and we are Jets fans, and he was like, yeah. He's like, if a Jets player's in the Hall of Fame, the bartenders need something, because like this is crazy. Yeah. So he started the Hall of Fame in an effort to aspire like younger folks to get into hospitality, and like a way of like cementing these people kind of in like a Hall of Fame kind of thing. Yeah. So everyone's in the Hall of Fame gets one of these like rings. We're doing an event after BCB with Julie Reiner here in New York, and then at Tails, we're doing Chris Hanna's induction, who runs Jewel of the South. But when I think of those two people in particular, especially Julie, because we're here, like the amount of people that have like worked for her, with her, they have bars, and like those people have bars. Like she's really inspired like a generation of hospitality workers. So I think that's kind of like when I was like, oh, we're going to induct her into the Hall of Fame, that's kind of like the aspect of like people saying like, oh, I want to be like Julie one day. I'm like, this is exactly those kind of people. And I think that Dad started it for that effort, inspire the next generation of bartenders and stuff. So it's cool. And it's something that we haven't done in a while because Dad was sick. But when I took over, that was like one of the main things that I was like, I really want to bring that back, because growing up, I was like, whoa, Dad's got like this ring, right? And I like wear it, and I didn't like, same thing. I didn't know what it was. And I was like, whoa, you're in like a Hall of Fame? That's sick. And then he was like, well, I started it, so I get to be the first one. I was like, oh, well, that's also cool.
Is that your dad's ring?
This is my dad's, yeah. So like, I want to have that same kind of feeling for someone else.
Yeah, that's an amazing feeling. Yeah. Well, like, now you mentioned Hall of Fame, I'm sure there's a list of people that you
oh my gosh.
But, like whoever's going to be there, I think, applaud.
Yeah, no,
because, I mean, recognition it's like one of the most important things in this industry, for the years that you have put in.
Yeah.
And for all the students that you have had, throughout your doors, like, Julie Renner. We spoke to some of our guests, and they mention her name very often. I mean, who doesn't really know her name, right?
No, she's an icon.
Here, especially here in New York.
Yep.
And she's an amazing human. We run into her. She's
so nice.
Super friendly. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another thing, right? Because what makes you a good bartender, or what makes you this person, is the welcoming of all the people.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't matter like what do you do, who you are, where you come from. She's always been very welcoming. So
absolutely.
And I'm sure like the list of people you have is in the same line.
Yeah, Dale DeGroff was in the Hall of Fame in 1993, and I found like a photo he sent to me of him, or not me, but him and Dad at his bar, the Rainbow Room, where he used to work. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Dale, like I want to, really put more emphasis behind the Hall of Fame. He was like, I'm in. Like he's been really helpful, and like going back and saying like, here's some people that we may have missed over the years. And the first I was like, okay, like here are some of the people I think. And I was like, obviously Julie. He was like, obviously Julie. And moved on. I was like, okay, great. Like we're on the same page. But like, that's a no-brainer. But there are some folks that have been around for a while that I'm not super familiar with, that Dale was like, they've done X, Y, and Z for the community. So like, again, like how I feel so lucky to have like someone like him be in our corner to help bring this to life. Like, again.
Also, like knowing that he's an icon in the hospitality industry,
Absolutely.
We all know his cocktail, the Cosmopolitan, and we created thousands and types. But they'll think, for us in the hospitality, especially here in New York, we know like Dale DeGroff's name is.
It's everywhere, right?
Yeah. And he had his Hall of Fame ring on like the cover of his book. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even like all the years of me looking at that book, I never and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. That's like, it's a part of the community, and like, shit.
So what would be the like requirements to you to choose someone to be in the Hall of Fame?
Obviously someone who's like done their time. But most importantly, and like what Dad was choosing people is like, how are they inspired kind of like the generations, and like really a lot of effort put into like a space or the community in general. I just inducted someone in Seattle. His name is John. He's worked at the same bar for 66 years.
What?
Wow.
Fucking awesome.
Six.
Yeah. And I'm like, this guy is an icon.
Of
like,
course.
And my aunt found him from like a social post on Facebook, and she was like, oh my God, he's like retiring from the bar after 66 years. And she was like, hello. And I was like, whoa. And I like reached out to his family on Facebook. I was like, hello, one, fucking sick. Like, God bless your family. Two, like, we have this thing, a Hall of Fame. Can I get you? Like, okay. So we did like a little induction ceremony. Like they did something at the bar and I sent them the ring. I was like, cool. Like, it's really nice. But like, you know, there's a guy in Aruba that my dad met who worked at the same bar for like 20 years. My dad's like, this guy has been a badass, but you wouldn't know that. His name is Albert. He still sends us Christmas cards. Aww. My mom went last year on like a trip and he picked her up from the airport. I'm like, that's fucking true hospitality and like caring stuff. Like, and what an impact Dad has made in his life and like, you know, potentially his career, but it was just like making sure that someone who's put a lot of time in and really dedicated their life. But it's like, cool. Albert's the man. Like he hits me up on Facebook from time to time, but I probably haven't seen him since I was 6. You know, like I don't know, but I know how much he's done for the community and like how this recognition has helped him in his career as well. So it's cool.
And I honestly, I appreciate that, points, because I feel like sometimes when you work in hospitality, people says like, oh, it's another job. And I always say this in every episode we have. But I really want people to understand that this is not just a job. It's something that is very human. It's very touchy. And you get, you work with your mom, but also you work with other people for 3-4 days that they become part of your family.
Oh, yeah.
Business,
Oh, of course. We have friends everywhere,
exactly,
right? Like,
you grow. I mean, I don't even know how to put it honestly, because there's so many things that you can think of. Like you connect with so many people in so many different ways. Like we just mentioned earlier, like a friend of a friend who knows a friend, how your friend, and then of course, if you go like your mom went to Aruba and he picked him up, the impact that he had in his life through your father, and I think it made a big impact in his life because he remembers that, For you to remember someone for more than 30 to 20 years, it's incredible, and that goes back to hospitality. You build these connections with people that is genuine,
Yep.
It's not something that you force in, it's not something that you want something in return. It's something that you use build it for the community, and you make something for everyone and everyone recognizes that.
Yeah, and that's...
No, I was going to say, like, imagine what, for the person in Seattle, what it was important for him to be 66 years working in a place.
So cool.
Like how much, just not just time, but also like energy and patience and, love and passion and everything.
And loyalty, because 66 years is not...
No, and his daughters are like taking over the business now too, which is cool, and like keeping with the family business thing, which I obviously have a lot of like heart for. It's cool. Like even, we do the cocktail weeks, like BCB. It's such a good time for us, like here, because people are coming in from other parts of the country, and then like, oh my God, I saw you were working that booth, or we met at X, Y, and Z. Like now you have that friend, and when you can. If we're lucky enough to travel to go to those places, like now you have a friend that you can be like, oh, I'm going to go see your bar. Like that is something that doesn't happen. Like
not very often, but
no.
Yeah, I can relate to that because we met people in New Orleans. They visited in New York and we connected. It was like, what?
Yeah.
And you build a fun relationship. It's a friendly relationship,
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wore my like Arizona Cocktail Week shirt. Like the folks from Highball, like I met them down at Tails. Libby and Mitch, like, I was like, oh my God, like, we should hang out. I'm going to come out there for Arizona Cocktail Week. And then we were like texting, like, let's do an event. Let's do this stuff. Like, I get so excited about, like, you made this new friend and new connection. And now, like, we can help them grow their business and, like, be a friend. Like,
exactly. Because sometimes, you meet people as well. And I feel like also that's a good thing that it's been changing and it should be changed. It's like, maybe you work in this famous cocktail bar and then you've been like, in many interviews and then you feel like, oh, I'm famous. And then people approach to you and you're not like that friendly. And I feel like it shouldn't be like that because, you know, we don't have to be friends to invite me to your house. But if I'm approaching to you, it's because probably I saw how you work and I'm impressed, so I want to talk to you about something. And also it's good like in another place we meet each other and it's like, oh, let's have a drink or let's have a chat and then remember this and that is. And then you see that person again the next year and it's like, oh, remember when we went to this bar? And then you start having these memories and that's what became like friends.
Yeah.
But also like we're human, we're social.
Oh my gosh.
And it's good when you feel like you go to your house and it's like, it was a hard day, but also it was super fun that I saw this person and we talk about this and we have this appetizer or whatever. Yep. So I feel like this industry it's not just party, but it's also very, very fun.
No.
Oh, it's the best. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, we're having such like amazing food and like you share experiences. Yeah. And because of the work that we're in, whether you're like drinking or not, but you're sharing like a meal or having a cocktail with someone, those like barriers of like friendship are broken down pretty quickly. So it's just like, hey, we're experiencing something together. So it's like, you know, my wife always jokes, she's like, you like make friends so quickly. I'm like, I'm always doing something with them, right? So like we're already like, if we're having a drink together, like we're already like 10 steps down the line. Like we didn't just meet. Or like, so what's going on? Like, how was your day? Where do you work? What's going on? Like, it's cool that we're able through hospitality have those experiences together. And you're, you know, like you know, again, I'm very lucky and I want this magazine to continue to do well and like build a community, but like I'm not going to change. I'm still going to be the same person, like very like humble beginnings of like doing all of this stuff together. Like as soon as I start thinking otherwise, that's not the purpose of this.
Yeah. And you can generally see that, you know, like that you care about the community. You care a lot because, you know, you wouldn't been doing this if you wouldn't care.
No.
Especially keeping the legacy after, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Like anything, it's a lot of work. Like I saw how much effort this took to set everything up today. It's a lot of work, but you care about it, right? Like so you can see the efforts through all the things that you do. Like if I didn't care, I would have just been like, oh, like someone else can do this. But I'm like, no. Like,
and you know, we've been doing this for almost a year. Hell
yeah. Come on, that's awesome.
We started shooting in May. Yeah. We started shooting in May, but definitely our first episode came out on August. But, you know, obviously, like everybody else, we work and we hope that in the future.
Yeah, we still have a day job. Like, not a day job, an evening job because I'm still behind the bar.
Yep.
She's AMP on them.
You know, like we're working, but
you know, like we are still doing this, and we do this because we basically, generally, like we said, love what we do.
Yep.
This is our careers. I think this is my own career because it took me so long to be this person, and also because, you know, I can relate with a lot of people who's in my community, my Latino community, who started as a busboy, you know, food runner, you know, barista. Yeah. They became chefs. Some of them became bartenders, now head bartenders. Actually, when we started working, I remember like looking back to a couple of my friends who now are running bars. We started buzzing, and we were afraid, like, oh, I don't want to clean that table because I don't know what to say. And you were like, oh, because, you know, we had to go and water the tables. Right. And we were like, no, you go to the table. We're like, no, that's your section.
You're like, look how far you've come now, yeah.
And now they've seen these guys running bars and
it's crazy.
Owning their own restaurants. So like, you know, going back to that, it doesn't matter how timid you are. This industry will make you social, and it'll make you outgoing. It'll make you like, you learn how to break the ice easily.
Oh man,
there's no way you're not gonna be learning that. Approach you
quick.
It was hi, you know, and you know, I think it comes with a lot of work too, you know, because I feel like for you to end up in these magazines, it means a lot. But also you have to pay your dues, you know, like you learn your step, like we always say. And also, you know, the coming up bartenders, the new bartenders, I always say that to them, you know, don't feel, you know, small, feel proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's your personality, showcase it. You might don't have it yet, but build it, like build that confidence. And the only way you can build that confidence is doing it over and over.
That's right, repetition, you know? Yeah, exactly.
That's how you do it.
But also that confidence, I believe that it has to do with seeing role models and also like representation.
Yes.
And I love this magazine. I mean, especially this cover because I'm a friend. So I believe that this is not on purpose. That shows
I also
diversity.
want to showcase these guys because we have two, the Judge Club as well.
Yeah, the Yacht Club. Yeah,
But
that's our last issue.
I believe that this one is not on purpose. You're showing Stephanie, Isaiah, or Natasha, and also, but it's because they work. They work there.
Oh, yeah.
They're not here because they're Latino. There's like,
Oh my gosh, absolutely not.
It's because they work their way up. They are very hard workers. The experience that they put in, also the love they put in on the industry, and that's why they're here. And I
Full
love
stop.
it.
Yeah. Like that's it. They're there because that's who works there. Those are our friends. Like that's who we had it on the cover, and our same thing. Like our friends at Yacht Club, all those people work there.
Yeah.
See, everybody earned their spot. You earned your stripes, like we said.
Yep.
And that's why they're here. And and thank you for doing this for the community.
Oh man.
Thank you for showing us, what you're doing, and
Thanks to your dad. Thanks to your
Oh
mom.
yeah.
And
Thanks.
Thanks
to Dad for sure. Yeah, and mom, right? Yeah, she gets she's the back of house. She takes it, like I'm telling you, she holds it down for me. All of this is really possible because she continued to keep it alive.
And obviously, thank you for it's not like you took the position because I have to fill the shows, but also you love it. And
I really do care. I mean, like this is genuinely like who I am. Like, right? I try to spend as much time as many people, but I really give a shit, right? Like there's no other way to do it, and it's because of like I grew up in this. Like I feel like ownership, literally, of taking care of this community and trying to do stuff and highlight everyone, and like it's a lot. I wish I had
20 you.
Yeah, no, I wish I had 20,000 pages to keep showcasing everyone and doing all these things, but it's expensive to print and ship all these magazines. It's a lot, but my purpose when I put my feet down in the morning is okay, I'm doing this not only for my family to have a business, but to help this community and to be a part of something that I also truly care about. I can't think of a better reason every day to get up, because I'm all right, I got people to hook up and to take care of.
And talking about expensiveness and how do you produce this, how people can get it.
Oh yeah.
For who doesn't
So
know.
yeah, you can. Another thing I'm very lucky that Dad got in the early 90s was our website, which is bartender.com. It's what a great domain name to have.
Yeah.
But, Dad bought it early on, and I was just damn, I thank him a lot for that.
That's very important.
Yeah, so you can read everything for free on bartender.com. You can click through the websites, etc. We are the media partner for most of the bigger activations like Portland and BCB coming up. We're now officially a media partner for Tales, which is awesome. Seattle Cocktail Week, which is next week, so you can always get copies there. Speed Rack, another very important one for us. Love that partnership and love taking care of all the winners get featured in the magazine and on Instagram. I get hyped for those events. Everyone does. They're so much fun. And they have a lot of meaning behind them. So that's exciting. And then you can subscribe to get the actual physical print magazine. Again, same thing, bartender.com. So everything leads you there. And then send me a DM on Instagram at Bartender Magazine. I will
also,
answer
honestly, guys, the subscription is not that expensive. It's $25.
Yeah, it's $25-$30 for 2 years.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
That's one drink these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here for sure. And it's really those costs help Mom take and ship them, because it is expensive to keep a print magazine up and coming. And then for the postcards too. Yeah, we have an app which you can download, bartender.com app on Android and Apple devices. And to save some money, because we were doing a lot of events, I made these postcards, and they're in different boxes for cocktail supplies and different things like that. But it saves on some printing things, and it's nice. So it's go to a bar sometimes and just leave a little card so you can scan these QR codes and download our app or read the magazine right from your phone.
It's pretty cool.
So it's cool.
Download it right now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Because this is something I must have.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially
something. If you're a bartender, if you're reading us, you're listening to us. I mean, if you're watching, you're listening to us.
Yeah. And then you're reading.
You're reading, yeah.
I would recommend to definitely download the app, and then I mean, the social media is out there for
And share it because sharing is caring.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, all
always recommend
that helps.
everything that you can get your hands on as a bartender in terms of tools, because this is a great tool also to have.
Yeah.
You know, it's information. Like one thing we mentioned, when you wake up in the morning, and if you read something, I don't know, sports, the news, the weather, something, right? That gives you a talking point for the evening. When you go to work and you talk, somebody asking for football, Jets.
Yeah.
How was the game? And then
You're like, terrible. Next topic.
But they say we give you a talking point,
Right.
and then you current to the news, right? So I think this is the best way. You know, you get up and you know get to read your
Yeah,
news.
it's cool. And there's like, we're always doing something on
There's so much
social.
stuff here that you guys can see.
Oh my God, yeah. The 26 for 26, which was an awesome feature that we did with our friends at Brown Foreman.
This.
Yo, yeah, see, like that,
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff, especially when people are like,
Oh, Victor.
yes.
Oh, Victoria.
Yeah.
My
Victor
girl.
and Victoria together.
Yeah.
Yes. Alphabetical.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Victoria and Dre, like the Sip and Guzzle team, they've been like, you know, that's like my second home. Like I love.
This is amazing. Seeing different faces.
Yeah,
All these
thank
guys
you.
here.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the cheers thing where, you know, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. It's like important to have like
It is.
your cheers bar. That's like the true hospitality. You like to go to the bars that like they say hi when you walk in, you take care of it. They might never know like what your name was or what you ordered, but they're like, you came and you supported me, and like you keep going back. And I've been lucky to have the Sip and Guzzle team.
And what about your merch? Because obviously you have a very awesome merch line.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We got our hats. Yeah,
The t-shirts that sometimes is like they have like a fun.
the fun things on the back. Yeah.
That's super bueno. I think you were wearing a hoodie that said bartender is the shit or something like that.
Yeah, tip your bartenders.
Yeah.
Or something like
yeah.
that. Oh, so
I like bartenders with the shit though.
Yeah.
Collab.
Yeah, let's do that.
Everything again is on our website, bartender.com. The hats have been like my weird calling card now. Like I like wearing hats, but you know, I'm from Jersey and I had this like everyone in New York was wearing like New York, and then I saw like people wearing Dallas and like different cities upside down, and I was like, I don't think anyone wants a New Jersey hat. And I'm from New Jersey, so I can say it. But I was just like, I don't think anyone's
Shout out
gonna
to New
want it.
Jerseyans.
Yeah. I love Jersey. I still live there. It's my favorite place on the planet. You know, I was like, oh, what else can I do? So I like mocked up a like bartender upside down. I was like, honestly, this is kind of sick. And then I wore it out and took it to the bar, and everyone's like, that's sweet. I was like, I'm gonna make these.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always have these on our website, and it's fun.
You know what I thought about when I saw the hat for the first time? You know those cop cars sometimes have the police upwards, but in London or
Okay.
yeah. So I thought that was like the concept of it. Like it's a helicopter is looking for you.
Yeah.
Because you're watching from above your balcony. It's like, hey, are you here for me? Picking me up?
Yeah, picking me up. Yeah. Someone the other day said to me, they're like, "Is that so when you're like you fall on the ground, they can see it?" I was like, "No." But whatever your interpretation is, sure. That is the origin story, though. Yeah, but they're great quality hats.
And
I
it's
like them.
bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do say bartender, and I have our logos like somewhere over here.
Bartender logo on the side.
Yeah, yeah. So it's cool, and I like, you know, I like the merch thing. It's fun. Like I always was into like streetwear and stuff when I was younger. So I was like, oh, I want to
Oh,
like.
it's cool. It's like,
Gotta look
it's always good
cool.
to have like a nice like swag, you know.
Yeah,
here and there.
it's fun to hand them out too.
Exactly.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you here.
Yes,
It's
thank you
awesome
again for having me.
conversation.
Thank you.
Appreciate you both.
Is there anything that you like to say to the camera before we go?
Oh, yes. Well, definitely check us out on bartender.com. Follow us at Bartender Magazine on Instagram. And if you see these beautiful faces or anyone that's in the magazine, make sure you say hi to them. And yeah, it means a lot. So continue to support us, and I will support you right back. And, you know, make sure you follow them as well.
Yeah.
Like this is a big community, and you guys really appreciate you having me. It means a lot. So
Thank you so much.
Thank
We're
you.
very honored. Obviously, you know, having your mom and your dad legacy, it's something that we're also kind of like following them,
Yeah,
because it's
thank you.
something that also it's very important for us, like the bartender and industry. But thank you so much, audience, friends, and everybody for watching us.
My grandma.
shout out to his grandma.
Please,
She's away, but she's watching me.
She's watching.
like Edgar's T-shirt says today, support your local bartender.
Yeah,
Also,
hell yeah.
don't forget to tip your bartenders. Don't forget to tip.
That's right.
And please follow us on Instagram. If you want to watch all the episodes, we're on our webpage, www.bartendingbar.nyc.com. And also, if you want to support us, you can see the link on Instagram and also on YouTube. We have a donation.
Buy me a coffee.
Buy me a coffee.
There you go.
And, we can continue to do this and grow. And thank you, Edgar, for another episode.
Look at
Thank
that.
you, Ryan.
Double high fives to you guys. Thank you both. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
We had to say goodbye, but we're talking bar.
Yeah, if you...
We're gonna say, I'm gonna say, bar talking bar.
Bar talking bar.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And then 3, 2, 1. This was Bar Talking Bar.
See you next time. Bye.
Cheers. See you later, alligator.